Good morning, future truck drivers, students, and all that wish to understand pre-trip a little bit better. My name is Jerry, the CDL Whisperer, and I put a video out a few weeks ago saying that I would be updating the information about the modernization of pre-trip. And this modernization has been in process for a few years now, and it finally came to a head in Texas. All right, we're just gonna look through the manual a little bit and just kind of see what the changes are. It's not a whole lot of significant changes, but the order has changed. All right, so one thing I want to point out that I am seeing that was different than the past is that they give you or allow you to use a checklist. And I'll read it straight from the manual. It says, you are only required to inspect the items on the CDL vehicle inspection checklist. You may use the checklist provided in this section for your tests and check off items as you have completed them. But no additional markings or writings may be placed on this list prior to the test. That's very good, guys. And what that does is that allows you to use this checklist that they provided. You can use this checklist and just go item for item as you go through your pre-trip and check it off. As you check it off, you know you completed it. You pretty much will know your grade by the time you're done. All right, another important thing that I see in the manual is that they want you to do the in-cab inspection first. Now, when I think back to when I got my CDL in 2002, this was the way that it was. We started in the in-cab, talking about the air brake test and in-cab information, and then we went outside and inspect the whole truck. And that's what they're getting back to. It's called Modernized, but it's really just going back to what it was. And some may say that pre-trip is more simple now or easier. It's up in the air. It's not so much as that it's easier. It's just more straightforward, I guess, as to starting inside and then working your way out. Another important fact to note is that the FMCSA have implemented a requirement of, as of February 7th, 2022, they put in place an ELDT mandate. And what that is the ELDT mandate is theory training that everyone that wishes to obtain a CDL must take. And in order to get that theory training, you have to go enroll into a truck driving school. And what that did was that cut down on a lot of people that just learned how to drive trucks, and their friends took them over to DPS, they passed the test, and they got a CDL. The goal was to try to cut down on some of the highway accidents and things of such. A lot of people were real frustrated when that happened because it changed the game a bit. And you may be wondering, why was that important? Well, it was important because you should be properly trained before you are able to operate an 80,000-pound vehicle on the highway and put everybody's life in danger. And then you may be wondering, why do we need an instructor? Well, the purpose for an instructor is, to take the information that's given from the federal motor carrier and condense it and combine it and put it in some type of order that it may be learned. When you look in the CDL manual, section 11, if you look at it and read it, it's not just straightforward. It's a lot of information, and it's all valuable information, but it's scattered information. So what an instructor has to do is take the information and condense it and turn it into something that can be studied. Shout out to Mr. G for doing that. All right, right here I have my modernized vehicle inspection sheet, which is our study sheet. And in order to get past this deal, you want to study this sheet every day. All right, looking further along in the manual, I come up to the section of the air brake check. The air brake check is probably the most important part of the pre-trip. If you mess up on any step of the air brake check, you will fail your pre-trip. Whereas on the rest of the pre-trip, if you miss an item here or there, you can still pass pre-trip depending on how many points you have. I'm not allowed to disclose the points, but I'll read it from the manual. Air brake safety devices vary. This procedure is designed to make certain that safety devices are operating correctly as air pressure drops from normal to low air conditions. Loss of air pressure will cause the emergency brakes to activate, causing an abrupt, uncontrolled stop. Inspection. Failure to explain and perform all 4 parts of the air brake check correctly will result in an automatic failure of the CDL vehicle inspection. They serious, they're not playing. All right, so the first step of this air brake check is air gauge and governor cutoff check. Chock the wheels, start the vehicle and inspect the air gauge is working and builds to air pressure governor cutoff approximately 120 to 140. Identify the cutoff pressure for your vehicle. That's step 1. Step 2, air leakage rate test. Shut off the engine. Return the key to the on position. Release the parking brake for both vehicles, truck and trailer. Fully apply the foot brake. Once the air gauge is stabilized, hold foot on the brake 1 minute. Inspect air gauge to see that air drops no more than 3 pounds per square inch in 1 minute for a single vehicle, or 4 pounds per square inch for a combination vehicle. Today we're talking about combination, so that would be 4 pounds per square inch in 1 minute. Next step, which is the third step, the air warning device. Without restarting the engine, make sure that the key or electrical power is still in the on position. Begin fanning the air pressure by applying and releasing the foot brake. The low air warning buzzer, light, or flag should activate before air pressure drops before 55 psi. Step 4, emergency brake test. Continue to fan off air pressure. The parking brake or emergency brake valves should close or pop out between 20 to 45 psi. So if you look on the whiteboard behind me, what I did was try to simplify the air brake test or steps. And there's 4 steps to the air brake test. And what we have here is cutout pressure, 120 to 140. The leaks, 4 psi in 1 minute. The alarms, before 55. And the pop out, 20 to 45. If you can remember these acronyms, you would have all 4 steps of your brake test completed, and you can move on to the next area. So the next area of that is to check the brakes independently. You want to check the trailer brakes, the tractor brakes, and also the service brakes. All right, so as we bring this little quick tip session to a close, I just want to disclose that the backing maneuvers has changed as well. Instead of 3 backing maneuvers, we now have 4 backing maneuvers, which are here. I don't know how well you can see it, but we have 4 maneuvers. The first one being the forward stop, which you would have to pull forward and stop your front bumper in an area that's designated by the examiner. Then you would have to do the straight line backing, which means you back all the way through the cones. Then you would have to do the forward offset tracking. The forward offset tracking, guys, is probably going to be the hardest one because you have to come out of the box and stay about 2.5 to 3 feet off of the cone with a continuous roll. And also you have the exercise 4, which is the reverse offset backing, which is reversing what you just did. Just remember, if you study, you will succeed. What you put into it is what you'll get out of it. God bless.